number 10 ridiculous question is, can you get me a green card? Chaitanya, tell us why people have asked you about getting visas and green cards.
People write me emails asking for me to help them get green cards all the time.
Are you an immigration attorney?
Not at all. So I don't know what they think. I always tell them that those questions sometimes are so specific that only an expert immigration attorney will know the answer to. And they expect me to answer their questions. The point is that it's been quite a few years since I crossed all the immigration hurdles. I don't remember much at all. I don't care to remember much at all. So I recommend that they ask an expert regarding those questions. I'm not the right person to ask those questions.
Yeah, and just because someone is in America doesn't mean they can get you a visa.
Yeah.
For number 9, the question is, so what degree or what program should I pursue? Why is this silly for people to ask you this?
See, if you are trying to apply to any program in the US, I don't even know who you are. How can you ask me, should I go for an MBA or a master's in computer science or a master's in data analytics? What do I tell you? Like, I don't even know who you are, what your background is, what your interests are, how good you are. So this is an absolutely wrong question to ask me.
Yeah, if someone doesn't know you, you shouldn't be asking their advice on what degree you should pursue for your career in your future. That's up to you to decide because you know yourself better than either of us.
Yeah, exactly. See, there are so many programs out there and people put me in a difficult spot by asking me to make their career and life decisions. I can say anything I want, okay? It's you who has to live through that life, right? And if I say it turns out to be bad for you, will you blame me? I don't want you to do that, right? So I politely tell them that it is your life, your career, you need to pick your own path. I cannot tell you that you should go for an MBA or a master's in computer science. This is like comparing apples and oranges. They are just not the same.
Hey friends, welcome to Chaitanya Coaching. I'm Rob, and in this video, we're talking about the most ridiculous questions that Chaitanya and myself have gotten from international students planning or even here in America. And at Chaitanya Coaching, we're all about helping you guys succeed in your cross-cultural journeys, especially with things like study abroad, finding jobs. And we have our awesome guest, Chaitanya. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I've been in the US for 16 years now. I came here as a master's student in computer science. Then I worked in industry for 1 year. Then I went ahead for my PhD program in which I spent 6 years, and then I became a professor. First I was a faculty in Ohio, now I'm a professor in Texas.
Wonderful. And you've got your own great YouTube channel, Desi American Professor, so I highly recommend that. And through your channel, you've gotten lots of questions, good questions and bad questions. So we're covering some of those bad, ridiculous questions in this video. We've got several more, and stay tuned to the very end because we've got a very funny one at the end you don't want to miss. Number 8 is, what are my prospects of getting an on-campus job? Tell us about that one.
Okay, so a lot of times I get emails and YouTube comments and LinkedIn messages saying that I got admission in this particular university and what are the prospects that if I decide to go to that university, what are my chances of getting an on-campus job? First of all, in many cases, I have no idea about that university, right? I have been associated with only 3 universities in my life, and at only one of those universities, I was actually a student. So all my experience is limited to one university, whereas there are thousands of universities in the US. How do I know what are the prospects of getting an on-campus job in that university? You need to talk to those students who are already there studying right now. I'm the wrong person to ask such questions.
So if you want to find out about on-campus jobs, go to the source and talk to the students at those colleges. And then along with on-campus jobs, it's also getting jobs after graduation, right?
Yeah. I get such questions all the time when people ask me what are the chances of getting an on-campus job, and that question is often followed by what are my prospects after I graduate?
Placements.
Placements. I'm not a placement tracker, okay, first of all. And the thing is that how do I know what your future holds? There are thousands of people who come. I don't know your skill sets. I don't know what program you're going to enroll into. I don't know what will be the market by the time you graduate. I don't know how good you will be in that program. So how can I predict your chances for success? The biggest concern that people have is that they think that they are going to spend a lot of money, and because I'm already in the US, so I should help them make their decision. But you're asking me questions about things that I really have no clue about. What I can do is that I can make up an answer I can cook up an answer and give it to you so you can make your life and career decision, but I would be doing a great deal of disservice to you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put myself in that position. I don't know your future.
Yeah. So number 7 is, what university should I apply to, and the admission requirements, am I qualified to get in? Tell us about those kind of questions.
Okay. So first of all, how do I know admission requirements in a certain program at a certain university? Let's say if I'm willing to answer that question, because I can actually answer that question, but what will I do? I will go to that university website, I will check that department's webpage, and I will look at admission requirements. Can you not do that yourself?
Google, 10 seconds, you got it.
So why have people asked me about admission requirements at other universities that have nothing to do with? This is actually such a wrong question to ask, because you're immediately sending an impression that, hey, I'm too lazy, I want someone else to do that work for me. Guess what? I don't work for you. Okay, so it is your job, your life, your career. You need to take the initiative and find the answers yourself. You cannot expect a professor who is actually working full time and makes YouTube videos only occasionally. In the last 2 months, I have made 2 videos. Okay, so I have a full-time job and I need to focus on that. Why would I spend my time and help you with your questions that you can find the answers yourself?
Yeah, I'd say the majority of the questions that we get, you can find within 20 seconds on Google.
Yeah.
And if you can't do the hard work of your own research, then you probably shouldn't come to America, because here you have to do everything for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's really important for you to do that research, that learning, that work yourself before you come abroad to America.
Yeah.
Number 6 is like, Chaitanya, tell me about civil engineering or biochemistry. You know, what are these people asking you about things that you have no clue about, different fields?
So people ask me strange questions. People ask me about degree programs in English, civil engineering, structural engineering, biochemistry, chemistry. I have nothing to do with those fields. How can I tell you whether or not you should pursue? How can I tell you what your job prospects are once you graduate? It is a completely unrelated field. And then once I tell them that this is not my area, I don't know much about it, so you need to find someone in that area. Then the next question they ask me is that, recommend me those people in that area. Okay. It's your job. Like, I don't know anyone, okay? And you should find those people yourself and reach out to them and ask politely. See, the point is that I get thousands, if not hundreds of such messages, but not everyone is getting bombarded by such questions and messages, because not everyone is on YouTube. Actually, barely anyone else is. So you should ask those people who are not already spending time on social media and hope for an answer from them, and not me, because I'm overwhelmed oftentimes.
Yeah, and the best place is LinkedIn. You can easily search and find people from certain universities, certain degree backgrounds, ping them, send them a personalized message, and there's a good chance they'll respond back and be happy to answer a few questions for you.
Exactly.
If you're planning to study abroad, then here's 2 resources on how you can save money. First is Juno. Juno is a company that provides tuition loans and health medical insurance for students. We've had Chine coaching community friends get approved and get great rates. Or you can also refinance your current loan to get a better interest rate, or maybe find a better price on your student medical health insurance, what the university provides as well. So check out Juno to save money and get a better tuition rate. We'd love to help you out with that. And a second great resource is Wise. Wise is my preferred way to wire and transfer money across the world. It's fast, it's secure, and it's cheap. They got the lowest fees. You also get a free wire transfer up to $600 if you use that link. So we're hooking you up with a free wire transfer. Again, Wise is how I send money around the world to pay friends, business stuff, and it's going to save you a lot of money as well, passing money back and forth to your bank accounts to pay that tuition. So Wise is, I highly recommend it. So again, if you guys want to save money, check out Juno and Wise. We'll have the links to help you guys be successful on your journeys abroad. Number 5, Professor, can you find me a job?
Okay, first of all, that is far beyond my pay scale. I already have my own job to take care of. I already have my own duties to look after. But the difficult situation is when complete strangers approach me and ask them to find them a job. See, the point is that you should network with people and make your own networks and find for opportunities within that network. How can I recommend you for a job when I have no clue of your entire field? And moreover, it is something I would say unreasonable to ask a complete stranger in a completely different environment to ask me to help you find a job, I don't know, in California. Like, I have nothing to do with that. So how can I help you find a job when it is your duty, you are far more desperate to find a job. See, my heart goes out for you. It is very important to find a job, and it seems like it is one of the last moves of desperation to find an opportunity. But you also have to be reasonable and ask appropriate people for such opportunities.
Yeah, I get tons of messages like that as well. Rob, I'm desperate, please help me find the job. But if I don't know you, I can't help you. You know, people who know you are the best ones to help you find the job, and that's why networking is so important. So number 4 is, can you read and edit my personal statements or SOP for my applications?
Okay, so unfortunately, I have to be a bit blunt about it. Okay, the point is that I have my full-time job to look after. I have my own deadlines to meet, right? And I have gotten dozens and dozens of emails with their personal statements attached, sometimes their CVs attached, asking me to help them edit those personal statements, make them better so that their chances of admission in college are improved. The point is that you want me to take my time off and work on your application, whereas I know for sure that the time that I will end up spending on this, even if I were willing to do that, you will not reciprocate in that time to do my job for me. So why should I spend my time for a complete stranger and edit their SOPs? This is far beyond my pay scale. This is not an appropriate thing to ask. And there are professionals who are actually willing to do that for you, just that they will charge money. And believe me, people have even offered me money to do that for them.
Wow.
But the point is that it is not one of my job requirements, and this is a bit too much to ask of someone.
Yeah, and again, this is my opinion, but if you're wanting to come to the US, those are things you need to do yourself. You need to write your own applications, resumes, SOPs, anything else. I don't really recommend paying other people to do it because it's not that hard. You can do it yourself. Just take some effort, take some focus and energy, and if you're going to come to America, you have to learn to do things yourself. So your application process is the practice. And if you can't do it yourself, maybe you're not the best candidate to come to America. So my friends, if this video is fun or helpful, hit that like button to say thanks to Professor Chaitanya, sharing his experiences and funny questions that he gets, hopefully to guide you guys to be better. Again, the goal of this is to help you guys to be better, to ask better questions. So hit that like button to say thanks. And our chai question to you is, what other silly questions, what other crazy questions have you heard international students ask? Or maybe what's one that you asked, a couple years ago and realized maybe that wasn't the best one. Tell us in the comments. We want to see in the comments, what are some other crazy, silly, ridiculous questions that people have asked in their journey going abroad? Let us know in the comments. Number 3 is, can you write me a recommendation letter?
Okay, so here is where it gets quite tricky. I get requests from people asking me to write them a recommendation letter. And these people often are complete strangers to me. I have never met them. I have no idea who they are.
So it's easy to recommend them because you don't know them, right?
Exactly the opposite. So let me say something that some of you might not appreciate. The point is that even if you have been a student in my class, but if you have not interacted with me much, if I do not remember you, I'm likely not going to accept your request to write you a letter. The point is that I have my credibility at stake. When I write a recommendation letter, it goes on an official document, right? My name goes there. And if my recommendation is not consistent with your future performance, my recommendation will lose value. And that is the same with all professors. So our recommendation letters, when we write them, carries a lot of weight. And therefore, we have to be very careful who we write letters for and what we say in those letters. Now, if I have known students for a while, if I know how they perform under pressure, if I know their story, I will write a positive letter. However, sometimes some students have approached me who I knew well, but I knew that they were not going to be strong candidates for the job or for the program that they're applying for admission. And in such situations, I have actually refused to write them a letter. I think it is better to refuse to write a letter rather than writing a negative letter. So even within my own students who have been through my class, I'm already quite selective with who I'm going to write a letter for. So how on the earth can I write a letter for a complete stranger? The only criteria they have is that they have watched my YouTube videos. That is not how you write recommendation letters.
Yep. We appreciate the comments, but it's not going to get you a recommendation letter.
No, not really.
Number 2 ridiculous question is, can you give me a better grade?
Okay, so unfortunately that happens almost every single semester. There are students who perform poorly in some other classes and now their GPAs are at the edge where they need a certain GPA to perform better and so that they can actually graduate. And it happens sometimes in all universities to an extent where students ask professors for a better grade than they deserve because they need to graduate. The point is that why would I artificially inflate your grade and not do the same for others? It's just not fair. You have to be prepared about your own career. You have to perform up to the expectations in all classes. You cannot expect to slack off for one semester and expect professors to rescue you. So I think this is quite an inappropriate thing to ask of a professor.
Yeah, if you want good grades in America, you have to earn them.
Yeah.
You have to study, you have to be in those professor office hours, you have to do your assignments, you have to show up to class, and those are the things that are going to get you the good grades that you want for your GPA and for your resume. All right, our last one, number 1 most ridiculous question is, Professor Chaitanya, my girlfriend left me, she broke my heart. Can you help me?
Okay, see, I have faced this question not hundreds of times, but maybe a dozen times, maybe 10 to 15 times already. See, the point is that I think the reason they ask me is because as compared to probably other professors, I'm of a relatively younger age, or so they think.
Yeah.
And they think that I might have the wisdom to help them in this situation. But the point is that by talking about your personal life, I would be crossing the boundary of professional conduct. So I would be very uncomfortable talking about any such issue. You have professional help and you have other modes to get help in this regard. But asking some very personal questions about your personal life and expecting me to help you sail through it is a difficult situation. If you are a very close friend of mine, who has nothing to do with my professional area, and if you are my college friend or a school friend, we can talk about it. But if you are a prospective student or a current student someplace, and if you want me to help you mend your broken heart, it puts me in a difficult situation. So I still don't understand why on the earth people approach me sometimes asking such questions. But all I can say is this. You cannot expect everything to go your way. You will have good times, you will have bad times. Take them both in your stride and move along.
Yes, there will be hard things when you study abroad, surprises, mistakes. Those are the things we learn from, grow from, but make sure you've got friends and a community that can support you where you're at. Yeah. You know, have good roommates, good friends, classmates, have that support system when you go abroad so you're not stuck alone when the hard things happen. And I'm glad that people reach out and ask us questions. The goal of this video is not to mock or shame or make anyone feel bad. It's to educate you guys, to help you to realize that some questions are maybe less appropriate, and how can we ask better questions? Yeah. And how can we actually help you guys get the answers you want? Yeah. About going to the source or checking on Google first before you ask someone else. You know, we want to make you guys better so you can be more successful on your journey. Here's your friendly reminder that you need to check out Juno and Wise, the 2 great resources to help you save money abroad on tuition loans, health insurance, and wire transfers. Check out the links if you want to save money. Chaitanya, thank you so much. I've learned a lot. This was really fun. Hopefully this will inspire people to do better. Thank you. Really appreciate you sharing kind of the behind the scenes.
My pleasure, Rob. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, definitely connect with us online on Instagram, LinkedIn. Make sure you're subscribed to Chaitanya's channel as well, the Desi American Professor. Tons of great content there. I love watching his videos as well. Be sure you're connected to the Chai Coaching newsletter for more great tips, resources, upcoming events. And we really appreciate you guys being a part of the Chai Coaching community. We want to support, help you guys thrive. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Cheers.